Imagine a world where those tedious, repetitive tasks that fill our workdays just kind of fade away.
Mhm.
A place where artificial intelligence isn't some abstract thing or, a threat, but it's more like a practical tool, almost a personal superpower that helps you grow your career. That doesn't really feel like science fiction anymore, does it? It feels like what's happening right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really going to explore a practical roadmap for mastering these essential AI skills for career growth. We've been diving into some really comprehensive guides on this, and we're set to unpack 6 crucial areas, everything from, just talking effectively with AI to using it to make much smarter decisions. This whole deep dive is designed to give you a clear path.
Okay. And our mission for you, the listener, is exactly that, a clear, actionable roadmap. We really want you to grasp how these practical AI skills can genuinely transform your daily work, make you more strategic, maybe more creative, and ultimately more valuable. The goal is working smarter, not just harder.
Right. So let's maybe start by laying some groundwork. The world of work is, well, it's undeniably shifting, and AI is sitting right there at the center of it all. It's really less about AI taking jobs, I think, and much more about unlocking these incredible new opportunities for people who understand how to actually use it. It's almost a mental shift, right? AI can free you from the mundane stuff, the really mind-numbing tasks that lets your mind focus on strategy, on innovation, those higher impact decisions.
That's a really good way to frame it. And the sources we looked at really emphasize understanding the different kinds of AI you'll actually run into professionally. It's not just one monolithic AI, is it?
Exactly, no. It helps to think of them in maybe 3 main buckets. First, you've got your standalone AI chatbots.
Mhm.
Think of the familiar ones like ChatGPT or Google Gemini. These are your super versatile smart assistants. You open the app, type in what you need. They're ready to brainstorm, draft an email for you, or pull quick answers pretty much across any industry, like a general knowledge engine.
And then there are the ones that sort of quietly integrate into the tools we already use.
Yeah, precisely. That's the second type. Integrated AI features. These are AI capabilities popping up right inside the software you probably use every single day, like Gemini in Gmail helping draft a reply, or Microsoft Copilot right there in Word helping with a report. They just make your existing workflows, well, more efficient, seamless even. You don't have to jump between apps.
Right, so it's embedded.
It's like your software got a brain upgrade. Yeah.
Okay. And the third type, they sound a bit more targeted.
They are. These are specialized AI solutions. These are tools custom built for very specific tasks or, niches. Grammarly, for instance, isn't just spell check. It's AI that deeply understands writing style grammar, or Gamma, which helps you create professional presentations really fast. They often offer much more advanced, tailored features for their specific area than a general chatbot could.
So understanding these categories,
Yeah.
how does that actually help us when we're trying to pick the right tool for a job?
Well, it really guides your tool selection so you can be maximally efficient.
Okay, now this next part, this is where it gets really interesting for a lot of people. Prompt engineering. That term can sound a bit technical, maybe even intimidating, but the guide breaks it down really simply. It's basically just about clear, effective communication with an AI. It's very much like explaining a task to a new team member, isn't it? You've got to be precise.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks get too hung up on trying to memorize complex frameworks or these, rigid formulas for prompts. But honestly, as AI gets smarter, those rigid structures, they matter less and less. Effective prompting really boils down to 2 simple things. Clear thinking, like knowing exactly what you want to achieve, and then just coherent communication. This means being super specific. Use those action verbs. Don't just say, help me with marketing. Instead, try something much clearer, like analyze social media engagement data from Q2. Identify 3 strategies to boost follower interaction. Present them as bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different level of clarity.
And providing quality context. That's where I think maybe most people cut corners. But it makes such a huge difference. You've got to include the important background, right? The overall goal, who the audience is.
Yeah.
Maybe even examples of what you want the outcome to look like.
Yeah.
And constraints, like word count or tone.
Yeah.
Say you're drafting an email for a product launch. You want to thank the sales team, make it inspiring, keep it under 250 words. You need to tell it all that.
Precisely. And if you happen to have an example of the style you like, definitely use it. It's called few-shot prompting. That's where you give the AI a couple of examples first to sort of teach it your desired style before you ask for more. For instance, you could give it two catchy ad headlines for, say, organic sunscreen, then ask for 5 more in that exact style. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes. Getting the AI to hit that perfect note often takes a few tries. It's definitely a learning curve.
So if you had to pick one thing, what's the most common mistake people make when trying to craft really effective prompts?
They just don't supply enough of the necessary context.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about content creation. AI can give you an immediate productivity boost here, helping you generate better material much faster. We're talking emails, presentations, marketing, copy, pretty much anything involving words on a page.
It really is kind of a 3-layer approach that works well for AI-assisted content. Layer 1 is all about speed. Just stop staring at that blank page, right? Instead of starting from absolute scratch, let the AI create that first draft. Give it some context what you're trying to do, and it can generate an outline for a presentation. Maybe draft an email with your agenda items already listed. It gives you structure right away, gets you over that initial hurdle.
And the second layer, that's where you bring yourself into it.
Exactly. Layer 2, style. The AI doesn't know your personal voice, your unique tone, or, the specific dynamics within your office. This is where you infuse your personality. Ask it to adjust the tone, make it more casual or maybe more formal, inject a specific vibe. You add those relationship details and the little inside jokes, that human touch the AI just can't know.
And the third layer is interesting because it uses the AI almost like a quality check.
Yeah, layer 3, quality assurance. Think of AI as your personal feedback loop. Before you send off that big presentation or submit that critical proposal, ask it something like, act as a CFO. Now ask me 3 challenging questions about this plan.
Okay.
Or maybe, where might this proposal be misunderstood? How could I rephrase this section for better clarity? It's like having a dedicated editor or even a devil's advocate right there with you.
So thinking about that 3-layer approach,
Mm-hmm.
how does it fundamentally change the traditional way we usually create content?
It really shifts us away from blank page paralysis towards guided refinement.
The modern workplace seems to need data storytellers more and more, not just people who report data. And AI can be an incredibly powerful partner here, helping find those deeper connections in data, leading to really strategic decisions.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are 3 key areas where you can really leverage AI for business intelligence. First up is data organization. AI is just exceptional at taking messy, unstructured data like, imagine hundreds of raw customer comments from a text file,
Mm-hmm.
and just categorizing them. It can sort them into specific buckets like UI issues or pricing feedback, then spit it all out as a nice, organized, usable table. It basically turns chaos into clarity.
That alone sounds like a massive time saver.
Oh, it is huge. And then second, there's context enrichment. AI can cross-reference data and fill in the gaps you might have. Imagine you've got an event attendee list with just names and emails. You can ask the AI to add things like company, job title, industry by pulling publicly available info. It's like automatically enriching your database without spending hours searching manually.
And the third area sounds like it moves beyond just cleaning the data up.
It does. This is about pattern recognition and visualization. Don't just clean the data. Use AI to spot those deeper trends. And then, this is key, create compelling visual stories from them. Ask it to analyze sales data, pinpoint the top growth opportunities, and then, crucially, generate a bar chart comparing revenue by region.
Wow.
Or even a scatter plot showing, say, marketing spend versus leads generated over the last year. Whoa. Imagine scaling that. You could analyze like 1 billion data points in seconds. That's a genuine analytical superpower.
Our sources really emphasize that the key to success with AI and business intelligence is starting with the right question. Why is that initial question so critical?
Because it directs the AI to find insights that are actually actionable and relevant.
Research is such a fundamental part of so many jobs, isn't it? Whether you're looking at market trends or new regulations or just what competitors are doing, AI has this potential to make the whole process faster, but also more thorough, more insightful.
It really does. And the first step, like often with AI, is picking the right tool for the specific research task. Perplexity AI, for example, is really excellent for general research, mainly because it gives you very clear source citations. That's invaluable.
Right.
Google Gemini is quite strong. If you're dealing with academic sources, it links up well with Google Scholar. And ChatGPT, particularly with its browse feature enabled, is fantastic for synthesizing broad topics, giving you a concise summary. Each has its niche.
And beyond the tools themselves, the guide pointed to some advanced techniques that can really save time, using specific search operators, for instance.
Oh, absolutely. Things like typing file type.pdf if you're only looking for PDF documents, or site.gov to restrict your search to government websites. These can massively refine your results, cut down on all the noise. And then there's planning. Don't just jump in blindly. Use an AI model to help you plan your research first. So if you need to research, say, the impact of remote work on productivity in Vietnam, ask the AI to propose a detailed plan first. It can suggest key questions, identify relevant source types like reports or academic papers, even brainstorm effective search keywords for you. It's like having a research assistant map out your whole project before you start.
And this brings up a really critical point the guide stressed repeatedly. Always verify important information. So what would you say is the single most important rule for doing effective research with AI?
Always verify the critical information with the original sources.
Okay, so once you've got these basics down, you can start thinking about building AI-powered workflows. Things that handle routine tasks automatically. And this isn't really about heavy coding, right? It's more about smart process design.
Exactly. The absolute foundation here is process mapping. You have to do this first. Before you try to automate anything, systematically list out every single step in your current workflow. Pinpoint the repetitive actions. Map the whole flow of information. You can even ask an AI to help you design what an optimal automated workflow could look like. Imagine asking it to outline how to automate your weekly project reporting, collecting updates, compiling them, drafting a summary email. It can map that out.
And the guys mentioned some interesting platforms for this too, highlighting no-code tools like Zapier, which is pretty user-friendly, or make.com if you need more customization. It also drew a useful distinction between automation workflows and AI agents. Can you unpack that?
Right. So automation workflows are generally for those predictable, repeatable tasks, like clockwork. AI agents, on the other hand, are for tasks needing a bit more decision-making capability. The AI has more autonomy. You typically use agents where the risk involved is relatively low. Think of it like this. A workflow might automatically compile your weekly report, gather data, format it, done. An AI agent might be tasked with deciding which clients to prioritize for outreach based on real-time data that needs more interpretation, more judgment. It's a subtle but important difference in how much thinking the AI does on its own.
Okay, that makes sense. So given all that potential, where do most people stumble when they first start thinking about automating parts of their job?
They often skip that crucial first step, thoroughly mapping out their current processes.
This next skill, this feels like arguably the most valuable one, and maybe one that many people overlook. Instead of just using AI for quick info lookups, the real power comes from using it as a genuine thinking partner to make significantly better decisions.
It really does start with preparing quality context strategically. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's critical.
Yeah.
Create what some call a project context file for each major type of decision you make regularly. So for operational decisions, include all the nitty-gritty details, current systems, workflows, KPIs, team structure, basically everything relevant that feeds into that specific decision. The AI can only be as insightful as the context you give it. Then once you have that solid context, you can ask really strategic questions.
Yeah.
Not just which marketing strategy is best, but framing it more like, okay, based on this context file, analyze the pros and cons of strategy A versus strategy B. Now act as a devil's advocate, point out hidden risks or flawed assumptions I might be making.
Yes.
Or even asking, what assumptions am I making about my customers that might be wrong, and how could that impact this decision? The power of getting multiple perspectives is just key here. Use the AI to actively challenge your own assumptions. Explore different viewpoints you might not have naturally considered, to identify potential blind spots in your thinking, and even to test out various what-if scenarios. Like, you could ask, what happens if our main competitor launches X? Or what if our budget gets cut by 20%? How does that change the viability of these options? It helps you see the problem, the decision, from almost every conceivable angle.
So how does interacting with AI in this way really elevate our decision-making beyond just getting faster answers?
It fundamentally challenges our ingrained thinking patterns and exposes potential blind spots.
Right. As powerful as AI is, it definitely has its limits. Understanding these helps use it effectively and, importantly, avoid some common pitfalls.
Right. AI truly excels at processing massive amounts of information super fast, identifying complex patterns in data we might miss, generating a wide range of creative ideas or alternatives, and providing different perspectives on a problem. But, and this is the crucial part, human judgment remains absolutely essential for making those final calls with real-world consequences, for understanding the nuances of company culture or internal politics,
Mhm.
for handling sensitive human situations, and ultimately for taking responsibility for the outcomes. That's where human discernment is irreplaceable.
And of course, using it ethically is paramount. Data privacy is huge. Never ever input sensitive company data or personal info into public chatbots. That's rule number one. You need to be aware that AI can reflect biases from its training data, so always critically review its output for fairness.
Definitely.
Be transparent when content is significantly AI generated, especially in professional settings. And, understand the evolving intellectual property rules around AI generated content. Things are still shaking out there. Staying informed is key.
So if there's one big misconception people still seem to hold about AI's role in the workplace, what would you say that is?
I think it's that it can somehow fully replace human judgment and ultimate responsibility. So, wrapping things up, the AI revolution isn't some distant event on the horizon. It's already here. It's reshaping how we work, like right now, every day. Our sources make it abundantly clear. The real question isn't if AI will change how we work, but rather whether you will be ready to seize the incredible opportunities it's creating.
Yeah, by mastering these essential AI skills we've talked about, from practical prompting that actually gets you results to leveraging AI for genuinely enhanced decision making, you're not just keeping pace, you're getting significantly ahead. You're positioning yourself as someone who works smarter, who makes better decisions, who delivers more tangible value. This isn't about AI replacing human creativity or ingenuity, it's about augmenting your unique human abilities, allowing you to achieve better results, often much, much faster.
Your AI journey really starts now. Maybe pick just one skill from this deep dive, perhaps focusing on mastering prompting by really refining your questions for a week. Or maybe try using AI for some in-depth research on a small project you have. Just practice it consistently for a week and really observe the tangible difference it makes in your daily workflow.
The future truly belongs to those who can effectively collaborate with AI while also steadfastly maintaining and developing their uniquely human strengths. So the provocative thought we'll leave you with this week is, how will you leverage AI to amplify your unique human strengths starting today?
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We look forward to exploring more fascinating topics with you next time.